Here we have unboxing of the Azito 120 litre 550 watt cement mixer. Deceptively a lot in the box for the size of the box. You can see here I've unpacked it, and the drum's actually in two sections, which is a little deceptive. Some of the others already have the drum assembled, so the boxes are double the size in some of the other brand mixers. When you see the boxes and you compare the boxes, you think, well, the Azito must have a small drum, but no, it doesn't. According to this, on the side here you can see it'll do a 3.2 cubic feet mix, a wet mix, or wet volume, which is a good size for handling on your own, I guess, or handling with just a few people. Here's all the bits that are got to be assembled. Looks like, pretty sturdy construction from what I can see. Thickness of the brace over there, and the metal for the stand seems pretty good. But I guess I'll put it together and see how we go. So a lot of people online have complained that the frame or the stand for this isn't tall enough to get a wheelbarrow under, and I bought this knowing that. But yeah, for $2.99, it's like less than half the price of some of the other mixers that are equivalent sort of wet mixing volume. Prepared to wear that, and possibly I'll get some of the scrap metal I've got out the back here and the MIG welder out, and maybe raise the height of the frame slightly. We'll see how we go once it's assembled. How much effort there would be in raising the height of it a little bit so it can get a wheelbarrow under it. But let's see what happens once I get it all assembled. The instructions look pretty straightforward. Looks like they got reasonably well put together instructions for assembly, and hopefully a little better than when you buy something from IKEA. But we'll find out, I guess, how frustrating it is or isn't to put this thing together. Okay, so here's the problem that most people who've bought this concrete mixer describe, and that is that it's too low to pour into a 100 litre, or really probably any wheelbarrow, right? So before I start even using it, I am going to replace the stand on each side with one of my own ones that I'm going to make up out of some scrap metal that I've got lying around. Got some pretty heavy angle iron, and I've got a shaft that's exactly the same size as the wheels slot onto. So I'm actually just going to replace that triangular frame there and the same on the other side with just my own bits. Needs to be about 25 centimeters higher than what comes out of the factory at the moment. So we're going to go a little bit wider on the wheels just to give it a bit more stability, because as you raise the height, center of gravity also, or center of mass and center of gravity also raise, which makes it a little bit unstable on the same base. So we're going to make the base a little bit wider to help that, and we'll see how we go. So after finding some scrap metal, scrapping a few old bed frames and an old homemade gym set, I've come up with a new bracket that's 25 centimeters higher than the old one. You can see the old and the new one here. A little bit of MIG welding, but going to be probably a lot steadier than what was even on it, because it's going up 25 centimeters is actually 1.5 times the original height. So I made the base 1.5 times wide, or wider. And then I'm about to put the wheels on the new frame and and put it together. Well, so this is the final product after modifying the base of the Ozito concrete mixer so that it could fit underneath the wheelbarrow when you pour it. You can see there I've made up a replacement stand on this side just out of actual angle line, 2 pieces of angle line from a old bed. So repurposed. You can see there the wheelbarrow fits under there nicely now when it's in the tilt lock mode. And on the other side I've got to actually put a slightly thicker and wider carry handle on it. That's on the bracket that I made up. The bracket of the stand, you can see now goes up to here. Previously it stopped here, so just that extra amount will give it extra strength and stability. I've put a much wider triangular frame on it, and let's say it's 25 centimeters higher than the factory or standard. Use thicker steel for pretty much the whole frame, and most of it is just made out of scrap angle iron that I scrapped, as I say, from a bed. Apart from that very bottom piece where the wheels are, that was off an old homemade gym. So it's just what I had lying around. Managed to find a shaft that was exactly the same size as the one that came with it for the wheels, so slotted that in there, all MIG welded up. And I've put in an extra brace here. You can see there that brace there that goes to the middle of the crossbar, just to give it a little bit of extra strength, particularly if you do have to move it when there's concrete in it for some reason, right? It says you shouldn't, but if you do have to move it, there's a lot of weight on that bar, and having that extra support there is going to help a lot, I think. But that's it. It's hopefully now going to serve me well from a concrete mixing perspective.